Gustavo Adolfo Uribe here, and on this video, we're going to talk about, um, recording strategies with artists, or different observations of working with different artists to producing other artists, right? Um, I don't know. I don't think I've seen a video on this on YouTube. I don't know, but I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on it from my experience, and basically, there's like different kinds of artists that I've come along with in my experience. There's ones that um they already know what to do, they already have a sound, they're easy to work with. You just like, hey, I want this, taka 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 ta, and they just go in, they show up, and they just knock it out in a couple takes. And you're like, okay, moving on to the next track. Let's keep going. And those are like the ideal people to work with. I've had some lucky opportunities where I've worked with those types of artists who just have their shit together, real professional, and they just it's like, whoa, dude, whoa, holy smokes. Then there's the other artists that are like, they have the skills, but they don't really like knock it out in a couple of takes. It takes them like a while. Like, you really have to like coach them, like what sound you're looking for, and they still don't. It takes them a bit of work, and then you might just be there like, okay, it's gonna take half an hour or an hour just to get them to do it the way that you want, right? So you just have to be patient, be like, no, 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 like this, like this, like this, like this, and then depending on how like experienced they are, they'll kind of get it, and then after a while they'll get it, and then you still might have to do some like editing or something. There are some that are like they have that skill or that talent, but like it's not like harnessed in the most optimum way. So they'll just be like, you just be like, okay, just keep going and give them some guidelines, and then you're gonna have to do some editing. You're gonna have to do some editing, and like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out later. And sometimes that may or may not work. But it is what it is. Sometimes you can't get the artist that you want on your tracks. You have to just kind of work with what you have. So hopefully these, um, don't be discouraged. Is what I'm saying. There's, you just have to keep telling them what you want. Like, sing it for them. Like, I want to like da 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 like da da. Use it's like, I want to like like Cleopatra Jones in the 1920s or whatever. Like, just say like random metaphors and stuff so they can get an idea of in their head to do it. Or you could tell them like, okay, I want like this type sound. Like, I want the Dr. Dre sound in this track when they had the blah 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 on this part, and you play it for them. They're like, oh, okay, okay. That's another thing you could do. Um, and then unfortunately, there's times when you think that they can get it done, and they're like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it, blah blah blah, and you get them in the studio, and it's just not working, bro. Like, they're just not getting what you want them to do. And on that part, it just like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, yeah, sounds good. Oh, excuse me. So in that part, when they can't really cut the mustard, you're just like, oh, okay, cool, cool, sounds good. Well, let's just like save that for now, and then we'll listen to it later, blah blah, and then you just don't call them anymore, whatever, and then just you work with what you work with, and get somebody else or whatever. And unfortunately, that happens, but for the most part, like I said, the best thing to do is just hum it out for them. Now, if they're like a real musician and they're not, like, for some reason they're not cutting it, then you have to be like kind of like cholos, you gotta subdivide. You gotta subdivide. Taka 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 taka. Or you could tell them, hey cholo, your pitch. Watch your pitch. Like, hey, you're a little sharp here, you're a little flat there. Stuff like that, like technical stuff, like Charlie, you gotta be like, hey, that, no, no. And then they'll be like, oh shit, okay, so this guy knows what he's talking about. I better like tune it up and try harder. So that's what they do if it's like a real, you know what I'm saying? If they're not cutting it. Those are rare occasions too. But another thing also to consider is like you gotta have a positive professional attitude. Just like, hey, thank you for coming, blah 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 blah, and whatever, and try to make it comfortable for them. You know, if you can pay them. You know what I'm saying? Some projects are like trading or whatever, or just sometimes you're just everybody's coming up together. But if you can pay them for their time. Um, and yeah, I try to do recording sessions like, in my opinion, you don't want to record more than an hour. So it might sound crazy, but like excluding setup time, like let's say you go in the studio and you're setting up, if you can knock out that track or that song, their part, in an hour, that's good. If it goes over an hour, um it's just, I don't know, it starts to become not fun anymore. Because really, like, all you have to do is like the artist just has to warm up, and then they should be in the zone. If they can't warm up or come already warmed up, and get to the zone quickly, then they can't cut it, bro. Unfortunately, they can't cut it, bro. And you gotta work with what you work with, but that's the truth. You gotta get someone that can come in there and fucking knock that shit out. And then you record it, do some quick edits, and go home, and then work on it later. You know what I'm saying? When your ears are more fresh. But yeah, like like I said, if you're working on it for more than an hour, then I don't know, man. Me personally, I get tired after an hour of recording. Um, because it takes a lot of energy to do music. You know what I'm saying? When you're like in the zone when I mean in the zone, I mean like you're in a different dimension, bro, and everything kind of slows down and you just kind of focus and it just comes out like perfect. When you're in that zone, it takes a lot of energy. So if you could just knock it out, move on to the next one. You know what I'm saying? And then you're good to go. There's some producers or some people that want to just keep working on it and want to keep working on it and want to keep working on it. Like, don't do that, bro. Just like, yo, knock it out in less than an hour, and then come back to it in a couple days when your ears are a little refresh. And if you do need to redo it, then you could redo it, but then you know exactly what you need to do, or you might just redo just a couple parts. Um, but yeah, you need to definitely hone down that way of just focusing under an hour recording, and then boom, you're done, or move on to the next track or whatever. Because if you think about it, if you're performing live, how many times do you have to knock out a track? Just one time. You got to do it right the first time. Think about it. If you're performing, you have to do your best performance right there live. You can't just say, "Oh shit, I fucked it up. Take two." Hold on a second, guys. Take two. Take two. That doesn't happen, bro. So if you can't cut it live, then what the fuck are you doing in the recording studio, bro? You know what I'm saying? My logic here. Anyways, whatever. So hopefully this shares some insights, some tips and stuff of working with artists, and trying to get some strategies to get them there. I would, if you're in the recording studio, I will say this, bro. You try to not make it a party. You don't want their boyfriends, you don't want their girlfriends there, you don't want drugs and alcohol and strippers and shit. You don't want that. You just want to save that for the after party, the clubs or whatever. But when you're in the recording studio, in my opinion, it's a fucking sanctuary. It's like some church shit. You go in there, you do your thing, and you go home. You know, don't make it complicated. Some other people may disagree with me, but you know what? It's like, how do you want to spend your time? You know what I mean? Like if you're a sniper, if you're a marksman, you want to go in there, you want to do the headshot, and then you want to go home. Like you know? It's like you don't want to like see the target and then be like, well, you know what? I'm gonna, maybe I'm gonna fucking do some drugs right now and bang these strippers in the studio, and then I'll come back and maybe I'll take a shot. No, no, you go in there. As soon as you take a shot, you take the shot and boom. You see what I'm saying? Um, I think there's an over glamification sometimes, like in the studio. They like young artists I've noticed like try to make it a party, and you don't really stay away from that, bro. Honestly, bro, that's recording time is expensive, bro. Just get in there and get out, bro, and save that stuff for later. I had to say that in this video just so I can get out of my chest, because a lot of times it's like, really, dude, like I don't really need your significant other here, like trying to, pat your back while I'm trying to get this money. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck that shit, bro. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.